In this video, we're gonna cover how to use man-in-the-middle-f against a real network. Man-in-the-middle-f can be used against real networks exactly the same way that we were using it against virtual networks. The only difference is you want to make sure that you specify the right IPs, the right interface, and connect to the same network that the target person is connected to. I'd also like to go over a few points that might prevent man-in-the-middle-f from working properly. So the first thing that I'm gonna do now is just do ifconfig to show you my configuration. And as you can see, I only have ETH0 right here, and it's connected to my NAT network because I configured my Kali machine to use a NAT network right here. So first of all, the first thing that you want to do before you target a real network is make sure that that's the only network that Kali is connected to. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect myself from this network. This is very important, and it's actually the main thing that seems to be interfering with man-in-the-middle-f. So the attack might work, but you will have DNS issues, or the target machine will experience very slow internet connection, or they'll lose their internet connection completely. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect from this virtual network. So we're going to go to devices, we're going to go to network, and see the check right here? That means we're connected to the network because it connects the network adapter. So I'm going to click that, and that's going to disconnect me from the NAT network. So if I do ifconfig now, you'll see that ETH0 is not connected to anything right now. So I'm literally offline in the Kali machine. I can't even ping anything. As you can see, I can't even ping Google. The next thing that we need to do is connect to the same network that the target machine is connected to. And in this video right here, I'm going to be targeting this Mac machine. So it's a real computer, it's a real physical computer connected to a real physical Wi-Fi network. And the name of the network is UPC 0460916. So this is the network that I need to connect my Kali machine to so that I can attack this computer. As we mentioned before, you can't use the internal wireless card inside VirtualBox, inside virtual machines. So to connect to a Wi-Fi network, we're going to need to use an external wireless adapter. I'm going to connect my wireless adapter right now through a USB port. And then I'm going to go to devices, USB, and connect my wireless card. That's the name of it, Atheros. Now if I do ifconfig, you'll see that I have a new interface, and it's called LAN 0, and this is my wireless card. But as you can see now, this wireless card is not connected to any network. So to attack our Mac OS machine, as I said, we need to connect to the same network that it's connected to. And to do that, I'm going to go click on this arrow. I'm going to go to Wi-Fi. I'm going to go to select network. I'm going to connect to the same network that the Mac is connected to. And I'm going to put the password. Now that I'm connected, if I do ifconfig, you'll see that LAN 0 has an IP address. And notice that the first three parts of the IP address here are the same as the first three parts of the IP address in Mac OS. So if I do ifconfig here, note that the first three parts here are the same as the first three parts here. And that basically means that these two wireless cards are on the same subnet, on the same network. And now I can use LAN 0 to target this computer right here. So if we do ARPA here, notice the MAC address now. This is the right MAC address of the router. And when we run man-in-the-middle-f, this should change to the attacker's MAC address. So let's run man-in-the-middle-f exactly the same way that we used to do before. So we're going to do man-in-the-middle-f. We're going to do ARP spoof. We're going to give it the interface. And this time we're targeting a real computer, we're targeting a real network, and LAN 0 is connected to that network. So we're going to use LAN 0 for the interface instead of ETH 0. Then I'm going to set the gateway, and that's usually the first IP in the subnet. So it'll be 192.168.0.1. And then I'm going to specify my target, which is the Mac machine, and it had an IP of 192.168.0.19. So again, it's exactly the same command that we did before. The only difference is we're using different arguments. We're using LAN 0 because LAN 0 is the wireless card that's connected to the target network. We're using the gateway, which is the first IP of the same IP that we have. And then we're using the target, which is this Mac machine, and we've seen it to be 192.168.0.19. I'm going to hit enter and come back here. Now, as you can see, the old MAC address of the router used to be this. Now, if we do ARPA, the MAC address should change to the Kali MAC address. But as you can see now, in this case, it still didn't change. And the reason for this is because we're actually targeting a physical computer in a physical network. So this could actually take up to 1.5 minutes for the changes to reflect. So just give it some time and then check the MAC address again. I'm also gonna go and browse to a website just so that I'll generate some traffic on my computer, on the target computer, so that it'll go ahead and update its ARP table. Now let's check again. And as you can see now, the MAC address changed to the MAC address of the attacker's one. And if we go here, you'll see that man in the middle left is sniffing data and it's capturing data that's sent by my Mac OS. Now let's go to Hotmail and log in. Now I'm going to put the username as test@hotmail.com. And I'm going to put the password as 123456. And right here, as you can see, we managed to get the email, which is test@hotmail.com, and the password, which is 123456. And again, this worked against a real computer that's connected to a real network. So the main thing to keep in mind is make sure that you're connected to the same network as the target person. If that person is connected to a Wi-Fi network, then make sure you're using an external wireless adapter and you're not using bridged, you're not using NAT, you're literally connecting through the network manager of Kali Linux. So you need to attach the wireless card and then connect from here to the target network. Also keep in mind that you should disconnect the Kali machine from the NAT network if it was connected to one by going to Devices, Network, and then uncheck this option right here. Because we want to make sure that the Kali machine is isolated. It's not connected to any network other than the target network. So right now if I do ifconfig, you'll see that ETH0 does not have any IP addresses. The only device that has an IP address and that's connected is LAN 0. Once you're done with all of that, and if you wanted to go back to using your NAT network to target other virtual machines, or if you just wanted to get your internet connection through the host machine, so if you wanted to use the NAT network again, all you have to do is just go to Devices again, go to Network, and click on Connect Network Adapter. That'll again connect your ETH0 to the NAT network and it'll allow you to use it as you were using it before. So if I do ifconfig now, you'll see that ETH0 has an IP address and it's connected again to the NAT network.